to the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And who am I? I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
You are Kurdan Sourpuss.
Apparently I'm drunk already.
Aww. So, let's talk about organization and how
long it takes a cat to start, be ready for a podcast.
Now, you think you're bad at being organized, which...
Or them?
Well, let me get into it first. It might take you a bit before you get your stride, and then you're set to go. Let me talk to you about a whole level of disorganization that you would actually find incredible. So at work, the new guy, who's really nice, he loses everything all the time, to the point where he does not know where he has stuff all over the place until we end up finding it. Where anywhere it could be, we end up finding it weeks later.
How long has he been there now?
First week of October.
So he's been there barely a month.
Actually,
a month and a week.
Officially at this point, yeah.
A month and a week and a half, give or take.
And he's lost so many things of his own things that, like his clipboard, he loses his clipboard every day, which I refuse to give him any of my stuff because I will guarantee
he'll lose that too.
Oh yeah, so I don't offer any of my stuff to this kid.
Sure.
I gave him as many pens.
Is he a kid or is he an adult?
Well, he's 24.
He's an adult. Or should be an adult.
And to think he has reproduced.
Not very good at adulting.
No, I'm surprised that he can pay bills. But he's a nice guy or kid. I don't know. In some ways, he acts like an adult, but then when it comes to his organizational skills, is for shit.
It sounds like half the people I work with too, and they're in their 50s and 60s, and they're still acting like kids. So.
It's like he's disorganized, so all his shit's all over the place. You don't bring the stuff you should be bringing with. Like seriously, today, there's this 9-piece part that we have to assemble and bag together, but you put it into a bigger, giant bag so that it's all in one piece, at least in that one big, giant bag. This one time, for some reason, he decided, no, I don't think I'll do the big bag. So he literally had 9 small bags, which are probably the size of, I would say, 2 soda cans together mass. 9 of them in a bin that probably should be bagged in a giant bag. It's like anything he does, it seems we have to pick up the pieces and pick up the mess after him.
God, that resonates with me.
So, let's hear a few of your stories from work regarding disorganized, scatterbrained workers.
Well, we have this one girl. Not going to use her real name.
Well, no one listens to our podcast. Well...
Her name is Damaris.
Hi, Damaris.
Apparently, if she ends up being a furry, I'll just die. I don't think so, though.
I mean, most furries tend to be disorganized anyway.
There is somebody. Before I get into it, there's another furry at my store.
Oh yeah.
I was leaving work today, and unless it was just a customer, but I doubt it. They had a Kinsey Spice sticker on their bumper, actually on their trunk hood, not on the bumper, on the trunk that actually moves up, like when your trunk opens. And on either side of the trunk, they have the words "bad" and "wolf."
That could mean anything.
It could mean anything, but I just got this feeling that it's another furry.
I don't know. Until I see a hyena agenda sticker or
there you go, hyena
bad dragon.
agenda.
That's when I know, okay,
100% confirm.
Oh yeah, free. And then at that point, I'll just put underneath their windshield, what's your FA? That's how you scare them, is when they also become self-aware that other furries are around them.
Yep.
Which means, you heard it here, folks, furries are everywhere in all walks of life.
We do dominate Walmarts, though, I will say
Yeah.
that.
And that in a lot of warehouse jobs.
Yep. So Damaris, she's been trying to move stores, or I think either relocate or leave the company and go somewhere else. But because of COVID, that's all been put on hold.
So she wants to quit Walmart.
Yeah.
And she's been here how long?
She's been there. She's been with the company barely as long as I've been with this store.
Oh wait,
Maybe
so
3 months, 4 months.
So actually, this person's not a long timer.
No, definitely not.
It almost sounded like she was working there for 10, 15 years. Which,
No, definitely not.
I mean, and let's put this out here. If you live within your means and you're happy where you work, don't let someone tell you that a Walmart job is not an actual job.
True. You can make anything work if you're smart enough with your money.
Right.
And finances.
So you can totally say you have a career at Walmart, even on the floor. It may not be the most glamorous thing out there, but at least you enjoy working where you work. Sponsored by Faygo Twist.
Faygo Twist.
A lemon lime with other natural flavors.
It's an Aldi brand.
We're not sponsored by Faygo.
Or Aldi.
Or Aldi. But,
Oops.
Faygo Twist. I wonder if the microphone picked that up.
Oh, it definitely
You
did.
just totally licked the glass. Like a cat.
It was dripping down the side. I had to.
You licked the outside. So, disorganized people.
Damaris, fucking, one of the things we do in the first thing in the morning is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. If there's any bananas left from the previous day, those go up first. And we keep them right underneath.
Mm-hmm.
You know that big, like, staircase of, like, display of bananas?
Maybe.
It
Oh.
looks like steps. And there's literally tiers of bananas on it.
Okay.
And underneath it, there's literally our overstock. And you literally just roll out a little, like a cart out from underneath it, open the box up, put the bananas on the shelf. It's very simple, you know. And I guess she did that, but then after she was done with that, she started putting stuff away from today, like our freight from this morning.
Huh.
And as you commented on our huge pallets that we use, well, they're pretty much, I consider them standard size, but they're heavy duty pallets.
Yeah, they're your typical 40 by 40 or 48 by 40 pallet.
Yeah. But they're heavy wood. They're not the light, thin stuff. It's heavy. Because we'll get like 90 to 100 pounds of bananas on it, depending on how busy we're going to be. So she started digging into today's freight, and lo and behold, in the back room is another pallet of bananas. One that I had already opened and aerated, which means there's like bags that cover it. We opened the bag so that it slows down the process of ripening, basically. So once I open it up, it slows it down. So, Jesus, what is wrong with me? I barely had any drinks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. I'm like knocking glasses over, and
You are doing what cats do.
I am.
So are you? So do you say that you are an expert of ripening fruit?
I am. I feel.
You have become a professional cat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had opened them up, prepped them for basically being stocked or being ready to be stocked. But they were ignored because they were buried behind a towering pallet of potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't usually have, but Thanksgiving's coming up, and mashed potatoes.
mashed potato.
Yes. So needless to say, I had to go back and redo her job. Because she doesn't care. She just doesn't care. Bottom line, she doesn't care enough to do the job right. So I had to go back and redo it.
So pretty much, she doesn't do the full extent of what she could do. She just only does the bare minimum.
Exactly. And every day is like new to her.
It's kind of like a coworker of mine at work.
We'll give her a cart of stuff to work out. She'll work out what she can, and then everything else, if it's too full on the floor already, she'll bring it back. Usually she just brings it back, shoves it in the back room, and just leaves it there. And if I'm not there to hold her... Oh, my God.
Stop knocking over my salad!
If I'm not there to hold her hand... She would just leave that cart and go do something else.
She wouldn't do anything.
She wouldn't put stuff back where it came from.
Oh, no.
Half the time it's stuff that needs to be refrigerated. And half not. So, it's like if nobody's around watching her, she'll just leave it. And we're talking empty,
So when you mean leave it, she goes and does something else?
Yeah.
So she doesn't even actually bother finishing any of the work she starts?
Not half the time.
So would you say that she often enough never finishes most of her work?
I'd say over half the time.
Over half?
Yep.
That you don't finish her own work?
Yeah.
And
Or we have to clean up after her. This past Saturday, she bumped a box of blueberries over, and those blueberries come in a little plastic container.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like those boxes where it just kind of snaps shut. It doesn't lock. You can crack it open real easily. And she bumped it, and it popped open, and blueberries everywhere.
She didn't bother to pick up.
She grabbed a dustpan and a broom and she started sweeping them up. Sweeping.
Alright, so sweeping. Alright. She's doing something.
Half an hour later, Sabine comes to me and she says, "Come here, look at this." I'm like, "Okay, this should be interesting." She points at a box. And in the box is a little box of blueberries. Still open. And I look around the box, and all over the floor is still these blueberries everywhere.
Is this out in the floor, or is this...
This is in our cooler.
Oh.
It's like she got scared of what she was doing or what was going on and just ran out. You're playing with the wine corker like like it's a sex toy.
Oh, God, that'd be terrifying.
Could you imagine?
Insert.
Oh, he popped his cork, ladies and gentlemen.
He popped his cherry bottle up his ass. Yeah, I'm slowly distracted with...
And you can put this, you can use, if you take the cork off, you can use the spiral part that goes into the corks for sounding.
You're a dangerous cat.
Can you imagine being sounded by that thing?
Yeah, I'm sure people have done it.
We should look them up. We should look up wine cork sounding.
Oh, no. What have we done?
Please don't actually try that at home.
Yeah, please do not uproot your urethra tract, where it should stay inside of your phallus. But yeah, it's
much like
disorganized people just kind of pretty much make any job harder because they don't focus on what they need to do. So guess what? Not only are you doing your job,
their job as well.
You actually now have to finish up what other people started,
Yeah,
which
I'd say
wastes more of their own time.
A good 30 to 40% of my day is spent cleaning up after her.
40%.
Or redoing something that she did wrong.
And she wants to quit Walmart and she wants to find something else, which means,
Somewhere else, somebody will be cleaning up after her again.
you know, she is Walmart quality at that point, because most companies won't put up with that shit for very long.
We literally hire anybody.
Yeah. And that might be to her own merit, that's the only place that probably would hire her without knowing. Well, no one would ever know who you are as a worker until
And
they
she doesn't
find
even
out.
speak English, and she can't really understand it either. She can't speak or understand it.
So, she's at. Wow.
Man, I'll tell you what, she uses that to her advantage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely.
I guess to get away with certain stuff like.
And don't get me wrong, I have no problem with people that speak other languages.
Oh, no, yeah.
My old store, I worked with Edwin. Shout out to Edwin, by the way.
You might be a furry.
I don't think so.
Aw.
But he had just moved from Cuba, and the first place he worked was Walmart. But I'll tell you what, that guy made an effort to learn the language,
Yeah.
and he was a hard worker because he did everything that I did. Like, he literally mirrored me.
Aw.
I mean, he was a good guy. And the only thing he didn't like was going in the freezer because, he comes from a warmer climate, so he's not really used to freezing temperatures.
And he's from Cuba?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they have freezers down there, but I don't know how often they have
Right,
freezers.
but I'm obviously not used to the cold, like snow, winter.
That's certainly something different.
Yeah. But he was a great employee. And by the time I left, we could communicate. There was a mutual understanding.
Again, it's you move to a country, you gotta at least learn the language, because
Make an effort, at least. I'm not saying you have to, but
You move to Germany, you gotta learn German. I'm sorry, but English is not enough. And
Right.
you know what?
enough to do your job right, and enough to communicate within the means of living there. Obviously, go to a store, ask for something. People don't look at you like you're stupid because you're asking for it in their native language.
I think there's only out of 1,000 people anywhere in Europe that knows fluent English right off the bat. And only 1 out of 10 will probably know enough English to get by, but not enough to really make it worth their time.
But I would definitely make an effort to learn French if I was over in France.
I mean, it's one thing to visit, but, if you're there 2 months like I am.
Right. If I was there a while, if I was living for a while there, I would make an effort.
I think
I would have to.
To not know the language of the home country, you are at a disadvantage.
Not even have to. I would want to.
I would say it is definitely required.
I want to learn how to say in French, "Excuse me, sir, do you know where the nearest furry convention is?"
Yeah, that's all in Central Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must take the effort to know the language to a country that you're moving into.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I don't know Spanish. While a lot of people in high school learn Spanish, they don't use it. However, there's a lot of people that do speak Spanish in this country.
Yeah.
But not many people still do. And yeah, I know French, but out of family reasons, cultural reasons really, I refuse to learn at least Spanish on that level, because you know what? I know bits of Italian, I know bits of German, I'm just fluent in French. That's it. I don't plan on needing to do much more than that. But,
Yep. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, too, I'm not saying, go back to your country if you don't learn the language.
I mean, that's pretty awful to say.
Yeah. I'm definitely not insinuating that. It's just that if I were this person, or the guy that I work with at the previous store, who did make an effort, I mean, I'm looking at two different people, both coming from the same situation. They both spoke Spanish. One has not made a lick of effort to learn it. And the other made an effort to learn everything he needed to learn to communicate at his job.
At least do that. And even that's still going to be better than not learning anything at all.
Yeah, because eventually you'll pick up more.
And not many companies still have Spanish-speaking employees that will help. There's often enough that's still all a pipe dream.
It depends on the area.
Really, well, not countries. Companies want a pipe dream of being bilingual, and you know what? Will never happen in this country. Some companies will make an effort. A lot won't.
Yeah, a lot won't.
Because there would be no need, and if anything, the website will do something for that.
Right, but I mean, like, a lot of it goes with the areas too, because there's still very much, like, especially if you visit Chicago, in all the parts of Chicago, we should do this together. We went to Little Asia. There was a little...
that one time?
Yep.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2015.
And everywhere around there, in that entire vicinity, it's all Oriental families that all live there. Same with the Hispanic area.
Yeah.
They all kind of stay in the same areas.
There is actually a place in Illinois.
And within those areas, my point is, within those areas, there's, the big corporation companies, Walmart,
all of them do.
Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, all those places. And within those stores, of course, obviously, is Spanish-speaking people.
There is a huge Indian community in Illinois.
Yeah.
I forget exactly where. I think it's near Schaumburg, where they have the biggest collection of Indian culture. It's people and just Indian Americans. I believe in the whole country, because I have never seen a community so diverse as that in any part, although I haven't traveled much of the country.
Now, when you're saying Indian American, are you saying Native American?
No,
Native Indian?
no, I said Indian American, because you only refer to Native Americans as Native Americans.
Okay.
However, Indians, I'm talking about actual people from India.
Okay.
And apparently, there was a newspaper at work that came from a box from this area, and it's just an ordinary American newspaper, however, from the area. Both in Hindi or Hindu, I forget what their language is.
Hindi.
Where some parts of the newspaper are Hindi, and the rest in English and whatnot. And all the ads are all people who were either originally from India or grew up in the United States, or grew up in the United States, which is kind of cool that you see a different world, a different viewpoint, and they're living life as ordinary Americans. Hey, you want dry cleaning? Come to Gandhi's Dry Cleaning in Schaumburg, Illinois. We will make sure that your silks, fabrics, and cotton will be nicely cleaned. I know that was an ad, which is kind of cool. There's also law firms, really anything. And that's kind of cool, of having a microcosm. Or a microcosm? I guess it's a microcosm.
It's a microcosm, sure.
Pretty much a microcosm in a larger community where you have different, obviously, ethnic minorities. But it's cool that they all congregate together to live together, because it almost feels more like home. To their home.
I know it picked up every bit of that. I don't care. Sorry, folks. Cereal bag.
But little China in Illinois or in Chicago was really nice that one time.
Oh, definitely. A lot of fun.
And we only went there once.
Yep. Highly recommend it if you're ever in Chicago, though, to visit Little China. It's a lot of fun. They have some of the best ramen restaurants. For sure. Northern, oh God, where was it? It was Schaumburg. I think it was the Schaumburg area.
Northern Illinois University.
No. Oh God, there was a gay bar up there. And also around there was another, it was a Japanese,
Gay bar.
no.
Japanese gay bar.
No. No, it was a Japanese.
Instead of sword fighting, it's sword fighting. With their penises.
No.
Oh, okay, no, that's kind of racist, but I just can't think.
There was a Japanese strip mall. There was a strip mall of a bunch of different stores that all sold, it was grocery, bookstore. Me and my best friend Vito used to go there all the time for anime stuffs.
So the Japanese are very lewd. Japanese strip mall.
Somewhat.
Japanese strip mall.
Not the kind of strip you're thinking of.
They're all naked. And sword fighting.
Sure.
And then the sumo wrestlers, they're sword fighting too.
They are. And if you're lucky, like Borat, you could get sat on by one of them.
Did that actually happen?
In the movie, you didn't see that?
In the first movie?
In the second one, I think.
I didn't see the second one.
His fat friend that he gets in fights with sat in his face. Didn't use a stunt double or anything. He just took it. Took it to the chin, if you will.
Took it to the face.
He took it to the face.
Took it to the face. Oh, yeah, you can ask your friends to sit on your face.
According to his documentary, he didn't wash beforehand either. Because he wanted the reaction to be real.
Hey, man.
That's
Sasha, my God.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, my
Sacha
God.
Cohen Baron for you.
Oh, my God, that's bad and funny at the same time.
That's bad. But if you're into that sort of thing, not judging.
Oh, the stink.
Yeah. I don't remember where we were going with this.
I have no idea. We just
Different.
go from one topic
I guess
to
it
another.
just came from the whole Mexican, different language speaking.
Since
My
the
organization skills. You guys should see me get ready for a podcast.
It's a bit of a process.
It's a bit of a process. You're sitting here prepping,
Which isn't much.
which isn't much. Meanwhile, I'm zooming around, airloafing, if you will.
Yep.
Uh,
Haverloaf.
Pete's not touching the ground, getting chair, getting food, getting alcohol, getting water, getting more food,
Getting snacks.
getting snacks, getting pee into the toilet.
I figure we'd be talking about toilets, as is tradition.
As a tradition.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to do these not sort of impromptu because we know the day schedule. It's just when in the day do we want to do it. But it's like, hey, let's just get one done sooner. Because I know you like to go to bed.
Oh yeah, it's hard for me to stay up. I've been up since 2 a.m.
At least that way, gives you a bit of time afterwards too. But yeah, I just watch the cat and he just zooms around. And
Yep.
then when he stops and then he realizes, oh, I forgot this, and then he just zooms away.
Zoom. Very much like watching Sylvester play upstairs.
Yeah, the chaotic zoomy.
Yep.
The way how that cat zooms is just comedic. Because he is like full on zoom.
He forgets how big he is too.
Yeah.
I've seen him get tangled up and stuff.
Aw.
He bumped his noggin on the wheelbarrow.
Aw.
I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh, you okay?" And he just shook it off. He bumped his little noggin. But he did not care because he is Poos.
He is certainly Poos.
Yes.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Fago Twist.
Fago Twist. And how it almost says Gago.
Yeah.
Or replace the... Oh. Fago Yago. Oh, damn it.
Gayfo.
Gayfo, you can go gay. Then you can go fag. Like, with the word Fago,
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
It's got to be an acronym. Who's this made by?
Fagyo.
Fago Beverages.
I gotta have my Fagyo.
Fago.com. Distributed by Fago Beverages. What the hell? This is like one of the worst company names I can think of.
Gotta be a family name.
Fago?
Yep.
Genuine Fago Twist.
Could you imagine Mr. and Mrs. Fago and their son? Bradley Fago.
Who turned out to be gay.
Poor Bradley. Got picked on in school. Nice last name, Fago.
Little do they know I'm a Fago. It's like the commercial, like, let go my Lego or Eggo. Mm-hmm. Let go my Lego. What's the waffle?
Eggo.
Lego my Eggo?
Yeah, Eggo waffles.
I am Fago. I am Fago. Seriously though, that is a name. Not as bad as the last name of Butt. In fact, speaking of last names,
yeah.
Growing up as a kid, I would open up the... Is it the white pages? No, the yellow pages were for...
Commercial.
Yellow was for commercial?
White was for residential.
Okay. So
I believe. It's been a while.
Yeah. And what I did growing up was I would actually look at the local white pages, look at last names, and then laugh at them. See, this was fun before the internet, and when the internet was dumb.
Ad-libs.
What's that?
Ad-libs were fun.
What's that?
Or Mad-libs, I mean. You don't remember Mad-libs?
The videos?
No, the book. Where you get like a book. It'd have like a story.
Oh.
And it would just be insert a noun here, a pronoun here, a verb, adverb, adjective.
We should do one of those.
We should.
Buy some Mad Lib books. And,
yep. Those two guys that we watch on YouTube, they do Mad
Spit
Libs.
takes.
Yeah. One's like the big jock type, and one's the nerdy dweeb. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to take a glass of water, a mouthful of water, and not laugh while the other person reads them. I don't know that we want to go that far because we're going to end up with a bucket full of water all over your floor.
I would hate that.
In the garage, maybe. That would be a place to do it.
What were we talking about?
Fago. Names.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you have your last name, and you thought, at least it's not some of the names that you'd find in a yellow page that you have to, like, wonder, how did they not get made fun of? They had to be made fun of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone who is last name is Butt. Butt. Because those exist.
They do exist. I know a few butts.
My boss's last name Karts. I wouldn't be surprised if people made fun of his name for calling him Farts.
I hope so.
Which actually, me and my coworkers have been calling him behind his back Ryan Farts. Although with the amount of noises he makes in his office, I wouldn't be surprised if half of that was farting.
Probably all of it.
Now, here's someone from high school. This really one nice kid that I went to school with, Alex Gagahoylan. And it was actually two names, I think two family last names merged into one. So it's one of those businesses.
What was it? Gago what?
Gago and then Hoyland. So then it became Gago Hoyland. Because there's a hyphen. So when you add a hyphen in it, it's actually the last names of two families merged together. Which is so weird because that normally never happens. Because normally you take the last name of whomever wants them to be the last name of, right?
Unless he wants to keep both last names.
Or that too.
That's generally why they do that. Hyphenated.
But the first name...
It's like when a wife takes a husband's name.
Yeah.
But she wants to keep her family name too. But go on.
So the first name is much like Fago, except this is G-A-G-O. Gago.
Oof, that's a rough last name.
Then Hoyland, which is more normal sounding. Which, when you think about it, Hoyland is certainly last name.
Hoyland sounds like Boylan.
Still, it sounds alright compared to Gago.
Gago.
Alex Gago Hoyland. Which, yeah, he was a nice kid. He didn't get into any trouble or whatnot, but I can't imagine the kind of, like...
Ridiculing?
The ridicule he had gotten growing up with his last name, which is unfair. Like, some names are just absolutely awful.
He didn't choose his last name, yeah. I hate kids.
And you know what? Sometimes I hate parents. Because there was apparently in my brother's class someone who had Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And his first name was Harry. And his last name was Penis.
Penis?
So his name, when you said it out loud, was Harry Penis.
Well, thanks a lot, Mom and Dad.
Yeah! Oh, shit!
God, talk about setting that kid up for failure.
Yeah. And, of course, he had Down syndrome, so it also doesn't help that out either.
No.
But, yeah, his name was Harry Penis. And I think it was P-A-H-N-E-S. So... Not quite penis.
Not quite a penis.
Not quite a penis, but literally, they thought this through, because me and my brother did not think about...
I'm sure that it was, it's a family name, Harold. We didn't think it through when they... For the nickname part of it, which would be Harry.
I still think it's evil that when you still do that.
Oh, it is.
Harry Penis. Harry Penis.
Yeah.
Not penis.
They didn't sit on it at night and think.
They didn't sit on the penis long enough.
They should have sat on it for a night and thought it through.
You know what I would have done if I were a parent?
What are they going to call our kid? Harry Penis.
But then again, when you really think about it, that last name is fucked. Because you know why? Daniel Penis.
It's not as bad
Johnny
as Harry
Penis.
It's not as bad as Harry.
Harry Penis is pretty bad. However...
Dick Penis.
Dick Penis. Oh my god. Okay, we actually made it somehow worse.
What's some other names? I'm trying to think. Dick. Gerald. Jerry Penis.
Geriatric Penis. Oh, no.
Yeah, that last name is kind of fucked. Like from the get-go.
Yeah, it's Pahnes.
Curtis.
Curtis Penis.
Bob's
Penis.
Adam
Penis.
Bartholomew
Penis. Oh my god, I just say penis now. But growing up, I would often enough look at the Yellow Pages just to see what weird fucked up names are out there that is so bad that I would not want to have a last name like that. I'm quite glad that my name is as Polish as it could be.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that my name is not Penis, because I would probably change it to something else at this point in life. It may be easier to take my mom's maiden name or my dad's, well, at that... You know, to think, a family name lasts long enough, right?
Yeah.
Can last 100 or 200 or 1,000 years, regardless of what it could be. To think that a whole generation, a whole century of a family has been called, oh yes, here's the great Penis reunion of 77. To think that they've gone through decades being called Penis.
Penis 2020.
Penis 2020.
Could you imagine being President Penis?
At that point, I'd be smoking weed every day. President Penis, and I'm going to be like turning around in a swivel chair and masturbating. What do you want?
I'm busy.
Sir, it's Putin. Putin? And penis? Putin penis?
Putin the penis.
Penis and Putin? President Butt.
President Butt, what say you, sir?
Butt scratcher. You know?
Yes.
I'm still quite glad that at least last name is not as insane as Penis.
Yes. My last name got some laughs out of kids.
Oh, why is that?
Whimpers.
Oh.
Joey Whimpers.
See, kids are evil. Even with a normal last name, they will actually... Sometimes I've heard of Smith into bitch. Which I don't know how, much in grade school. I don't understand.
Yeah. I got picked on a lot.
Aww.
I got picked on at the sled hill in Phillips Park. I was helping build a ramp because we were going down a hill. Mm-hmm. We wanted a little ramp to jump off of.
To make air?
I kept getting run over by sleds.
People on sleds?
Yes.
Or really, people were evil?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not done building this yet.
Oh, wow. At the ramp.
Yeah, literally helping build the ramp so that
people weren't helping you anyway.
No.
Of course.
Yep.
Because they'll have someone to build the ramp and stay there all day while they get their fun in.
Exactly.
At that point, I would have said, you know what, fuck it.
Using me to do their work.
Yeah.
That's a metaphor for life right there.
It is.
I'm still living that even to this day. People using me to do their work. I can't stock the bananas. Kurdan, can you do it?
Let's actually talk slightly about that. Let's actually talk about hard work and money.
Mm.
So, here's a classic question that I've asked on Twitter. What would you do with $1 million? Everyone thinks, oh, yes, the magic number, $1 million. What would you do for... What would you do for $1 million? What would you do with $1 million?
I'd do a lot of things for it. With it? Well, First, I would probably use some of it to just kind of financially set myself up. I would put money away for retirement, first off.
So
I know
actually,
it sounds,
you still plan on working?
I know it sounds, oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't stop working. It sounds selfish, but I want to just make sure that, like, when it comes time for me to leave this earth and whatever happens afterwards, no one else has to shell out money to bury me or anything else. It's all taken care of.
Okay, all right. So then you're literally making sure there are no loose ends on your part.
Right. And beyond that, a couple thousand for retirement, so that again I don't have to keep working.
Or did you mean several $100,000?
Well, it depends. I just want to put money away. I may invest a slight amount of it. The rest of it I would use to help my parents and help my sister.
So I asked the same question to other people, and you know what? Every single one of them has something to do with helping their folks financially.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I've noticed with this question, is that among ordinary working people, it's not just for themselves.
Oh, no.
It is certainly for themselves, but they also have other people in mind.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to ask a billionaire, hey, I'm giving you $1 million. What will you do with it? Oh, I'm just going to invest, or scoff that you're giving me $1 million when I could be getting $2 million. Rich people would have a different means to use that money.
Yeah.
Often enough for a very expensive game of golf somewhere on
the
Venus. Right, yeah. Whereas the average working Joe, like you and me, we actually tend to do more constructive things with that $1 million that will actually benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of rich people would probably use that money on more of a sudden impulse of whatever they wanted to do.
They would snort it.
They probably would snort it away. They would certainly put it in the stock market, which they might lose, so they'll just end up pay it off anyway with all the money they do have. I noticed that average working people that would get $1 million, some of them are dumbasses and are going to spend it all in 1 year, and then realize why they're broke and why they have to keep living, or why they have to keep working for the rest of their lives. At least, for me, if I had $1 million, I'd probably work till I'm 40 or 45, and then retire early, because you know what? At that point, I'd still have a lot of money saved up. I would still have a lot of money left over.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want a bit of purpose in life.
Oh yeah. To remove that, the best example I can give is my dad. A man who fought fires.
Yeah.
He worked so hard to get into the fire department. I think at the age of 35, he finally made it into the fire department. He didn't retire till he was 48.
Because of the accident?
No. No, wait. Did I say 48? No, I'm sorry. He didn't retire till he was 68.
From firefighting?
Yes.
Wow.
He stayed as long as he possibly could, and then a year beyond that even.
I thought he had an accident with a
ladder. He did, but that didn't stop him.
Oh, really? Wow.
No.
Knowing what had happened to him, that's a pretty brutal fall.
Yeah. He stuck it out longer than anybody else with the fire department. And a good portion of the guys have passed on before, and he's still with us. That man, I felt awful when he first retired, because I could just tell that he just lost his purpose, because he loved what he did.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You think maybe now, do you think he might be appreciating...
Retired life? No.
he still feels like he wants to do something.
The only thing that keeps him going is knowing that he's helping take care of his wife. Because he goes down and gets the food. He walks to the dollar store. He walks to the Walmart. He walks to the Walgreens.
So it's not dedication, it's devotion.
Yes. That drives him.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Most people are dedicated, but there's a devotion part of it that a lot of people don't have.
He's a good man.
Yeah, Fred's good. Good old Frederick is a good man. That's certain.
Yeah.
Very, very friendly, very, very funny.
Even after going through dementia and everything else, and he's kind of slow to respond. I would say.
But you also have to wonder too, with the amount of work that goes into firefighting, where you see a lot of things, you've done a lot of things. I'm sure that takes a huge toll. Where I'm sure it was probably tough on him, especially later in life, because a lot of people that tend to be firefighters do it when they're a bit younger.
Yeah.
Normally in their 20s, 30s you could still get in, but that's certainly like later in life. But I'm sure any fire department would take anyone right now. But with the way once you're a firefighter, you're running into burning buildings, where anything can happen and whatnot. The smoke.
Yeah.
He could have been in a building. Well, he may have been in buildings that were asbestos.
Yeah.
I mean, asbestos will not burn, but that stuff can fly around. It is possible that
poisonous. That
can really slow someone down too. So it may not just be just your dad aging.
Yeah.
It also could just be the work environment he agreed to work in, because if you're a firefighter but don't want to fight fires,
right?
What are you doing?
Well, the reason he has emphysema is because of his collapsed lung from the ladder falling on him.
Right.
That combined with smoking.
Smoking probably didn't help.
No, it didn't help, but obviously the collapsed lung really was the catalyst.
Yeah. But it is interesting that ordinary people with money will probably do much more good than most millionaires and billionaires would.
No.
Because what a millionaire and a billionaire would do is to put that money aside or invest it to make them more money.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yep.
You and me, when we spend that money, we're not seeing money come back in any way, unless we make a business that does that. Otherwise, we're doing it to, hey, you're paying off debt. Hey, you want to buy a house finally. You can buy a house. You want to help your folks pay off their house. There is no return in what you pay for. The only return is that you have a better quality of life. Whereas millionaires and billionaires, they are only to invest $1 million is just to make them more money. That's just what they see. Unfortunately, it's all money to them, and not much else beyond that.
Yeah.
Which is why being rich is probably the biggest curse of it all, because you do change as a person, that you pretty much no longer you change. I'm just trying to figure out what to exactly say about that. You pretty much change as a person once you get successful. Nothing wrong with success, but it's the drive of money is what will change a person to do different things than otherwise they probably would if they didn't have it. You give any ordinary person money, of course they're gonna go out and spend it for stuff that they absolutely need.
Yeah.
You want a new dryer washer? Bam, you got yourself a new dryer washer. You want to get a new car because the car you're driving is old. Not to say that, oh, my car is only 4 years old. I mean, a 4-year-old car is not that bad of a need to replace, but when you got a 20-year-old car, that's more a viable thing to spend money on than something that is newer that don't need to be replaced.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, sweet, I can buy phone every year for the rest of my life. You're going to be buying, hey, I really could use a new laptop. Hey, I could really use a new roof on my house.
Yeah. Well, there's a necessity that you need there. You need a roof. You don't need a new laptop.
I think in some cases, a necessity would be to get something that you absolutely need to better yourself, and a luxury that you obviously don't need but you want anyway.
It's funny you bring that up because I was going through in my head at work in the bathroom. I'm sorry, but in the bathroom, I was
Four plops in Cleveland.
I was doing not that kind of math.
Plop, 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 plop.
I was trying to go through in my head like what the average assistant store manager makes at Walmart and what's the average personnel manager makes, and combine the two to figure out what these two guys that I know and worked with bring home. Because I think the store managers bring anywhere from like 55 to 60,000,
which is good money if you think about it.
It is. It's not bad. And I think the personnel also brings home like 50 to 55,000.
If you live within your means, that's big money. If you
so
live
combined, they are making 120,000, 115,000.
Now that's a lot of money.
A year.
Yeah, that's more money than I ever.
What is that monthly? Because I was trying to figure out like what they could afford at, like as far as like living accommodations.
Because for me, I make enough to where I can still get on by and then pay off my car loan in about 12 to 14 months' time. Well, barely scraping by, but I know that the longer I have a car loan, the more money I'm still shelling off that I don't want. Yeah, is it something I want to do again? Probably not.
That's like 13,000 a month.
That's 13. So, oh my God.
Could you even imagine bringing that much home?
In a month?
Even half of that.
Yeah.
6,000, 7,000 a month?
Shit, I would have loved that.
I could live on that.
And never ask for a pay raise for another 20 years until I need inflation to cover it, because of course inflation's going to be a bitch.
Yeah, you need inflation coverage.
Which which many Americans don't get in
you could afford
inflation.
one of those places that has like $4,000 or $5,000 rent.
Yeah.
I mean, or pay for a condo or buy a house.
You could afford many houses at that.
You could afford many houses.
If
a
you
summer
wanted
home
to.
and a winter home.
Yeah. You could buy that Lexus that you want to buy.
I don't want a Lexus.
Well,
You could.
You could buy anything at
example.
that kind of money. It's just getting paid around 20 grand a year is getting old.
Yep.
Which I'm just lowballing it, but
Same.
most people that I know don't make more than 30,000.
Same.
And yeah, there are a few exceptions. I know a few friends that make much, much, much more than that, but that's the rare exception. Someone made an example or had the idea that, well, most people from one income bracket don't really intermingle with people from other income brackets. That's also true, but you also know a whole bunch of other people in life as well. So a lot of that is probably true, but you can still meet other people outside your income bracket. I still barely know many or any people that make more than 30,000 my age, because this country is tying us all back.
Yeah.
It's not it's not that I want to tear down everything. I just don't want to be living mouth to mouth every day of my life.
Yep. Same.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing that anyway. Even rich people are in debt anyway, so it really doesn't matter how much you get paid at this point.
Have you heard of fleets?
I don't know what that is.
Just got updated on Twitter today.
No idea what that is.
Remember Vine? Vine was owned by Twitter.
Yeah.
This is their Vine 2.0.
It's called Fleets.
It's called Fleets.
That's kind of stupid. They should just call it Vine.
It pops up at the top, so the most common people that you follow and respond with show up, and then you just click on their face, and then whatever the last video they posted, which only stays live for 24 hours, and then it gets removed, which is stupid.
Why don't they call it Vine? Just call it Vine. Vine 2.0. Fleets.
This sounds like Farm and Fleet to me.
It sounds like government parking lot.
Government parking lot. You're going to live your life eating government cheese the rest of your life. Down by the river.
Well, I say...
So we'll see what happens with Fleets. I don't know, Twitter.
That's news with me, but how long will that last until
they get rid of
Twitter
that.
hemorrhages money again?
Yeah.
Unless they have ads, which means... Because Vine didn't have any ads.
No, that's why it failed.
So Twitter's got ads out the wazoo for this, which a lot of people aren't going to be happy with anyway.
Why do you think they're forcing people to decide keep irrelevant ads or choose ads that are more relevant to me?
Yeah, that's they're
forcing people to make that decision
so
every time
stupid.
you're on. What eventually is going to happen, I'll stop using Twitter.
I think a lot of people will stop using certain websites because you know what? The day that we have electronic license plates within the state of California, they do, where you no longer have a license plate. It's literally an LCD screen.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised that one day someone's going to have your license plate number and then all of a sudden drink Coca-Cola.
No.
Because you know what? And I think there's a clause against this in international treaties that prevent us from using the sky above us as advertising material.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We would not have just the moon and the stars anymore.
Oh,
we
no.
would have fucking Facebook ads. Oh my God, political ads in the sky. Talk about the all-seeing eye.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Imagine, this is why I hate the autonomous car. Because one day, auto manufacturers are going to team up with other companies at the front windscreen. Because you will get a steering wheel at some point. There will be a time where a car won't be a car anymore. It'll literally be a movable vehicular device that you only sit in, that it controls, and the screen in front of you is going to show ads all day. It'll come to a point where any kind of glass-looking material could have a screen on it.
Will
to show
have a screen on it.
Right.
Even your cereal bowl, when you get to the bottom of it, there'll be a little commercial in there. Glass.
I fucking hate commercials.
You drink a glass, every time you take a drink.
Don't be a penis. Drink Tysky beer. I will drink the beer so I do not become a penis. I swear, advertisements are like the bane of all existence. Just
They
because
Corporations.
they got to make their buck because they know that. Okay, if it's a catchy jingle, that's one thing. But when you have pointless, stupid commercials,
What's the point of a catchy jingle?
advertisement.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that all these commercials are stupid these days. I'd rather not see them. If it were,
It's not that they're stupid. They're in your face.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't even try to be clever anymore. They used to be clever.
Yeah.
They used to be really clever in the 50s, 60s. 70s kind of took a turn. 80s was
They had some form of class that actually made a bit of sense, or else these days...
But 90s got obnoxious, the radical era.
Yeah.
2000s really started to get like in your face, and now 2010s, They cut right to the chase. Give us your money.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
I just, like, what a feeling, Toyota, and then you just jump in the air. I mean, yeah.
Those were the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? At least they had some style with their commercial.
Yeah.
At least it's something, hey, it might be annoying, you may not like it, but it at least sounds normal.
Yep.
Yeah, they're trying to sell you a car, but really all it is just to sell you a car. But they're not like, oh,
they were
JD
selling you
Power
more.
Association.
They were selling you more than just a car, though. They were selling an emotion.
Yeah.
With it.
Which
proud owners of this car or that car.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, what a difference! Blockbuster Video.
Ah.
And then they used the hamster guinea pig duo during a Super Bowl one year. They were CGI pets in a hamster cage.
Aww.
And that's when it just got stupid.
Yeah, after a while, commercials go so far. Yeah.
It got bad.
It got stupid.
And why do we watch the Super Bowl every year?
Because commercials, which everyone seems to hate anyway. So what does that tell you about society? Oh, well, I don't want to see ads on YouTube, so I got an ad blocker. Okay. But then all of a sudden, you know what? You watch Super Bowl ads on YouTube, to which you have ad blocker for. Yeah. Ain't that an oxymoron?
Yeah. What a difference, Blockbuster Video. Do you remember that?
I may have. I mean, I was way too young for What a Feeling, because that was from the 80s, which was before my time, but...
Mm-hmm. I don't think what else there was. There was Where's the Beef? The Wendy's campaign.
Oh, yeah.
There was an old lady that was... And the funny thing about that was that Wendy's had one of the flattest...
burgers.
Probably still does. It's so flat, it's like there's hardly any meat in there.
Oh, yeah, it's actually square. They're square-shaped patties, which is kind of unique. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But holy moly, they're actually genius for selling you a lot less for a lot more.
It's like paper thin.
Yeah.
Beef. It's hardly considered beef even.
You know what's my most hated form of commercials or a commercial theme is from Chick-fil-A. The cow is saying, eat more chicken, and it's all misspelled. I get the point, their cows are stupid, but you know what? After a while, eat more chicken, and it's like, the fuck, I will eat as many cows as I want.
They're trying to insinuate that we're saving cows by eating more chicken. That's what they're getting at, I think.
Yeah, which, to be honest, then you're killing more chicken, so at that point, I may as well have a commercial being a tofu block and say, hey, save all the animals, eat more tofu, which really is kind of good. Only when you pan fry it. Oh. It's just... Yeah, you really think about that.
Yeah.
You want to save more cows, but you're going to slaughter more chickens.
Mm-hmm.
How does it make that How does that make that better?
That makes them...
It makes them feel better because field puppies are being saved.
What do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? They're hypocrites.
Yeah. You were going to go from...
Don't kill cows, kill chickens.
Yeah.
You know a place I've never eaten at still?
What?
What's that fast food Oriental or Chinese restaurant?
Panda Express?
Still have never gone.
You're better off not.
Never gone to Panda Express.
You know what? It's not bad.
Eat less pandas.
Eat more pandas. Because you really don't know what's in it. But Panda Express is fast food Chinese food. However, you're paying still more for a lot less. I can go to my favorite Chinese restaurant where they yell at me. Because they know me nearly by name, and they know exactly what I want. Ah, you fool! You want chicken fried rice? Okay! And then they give it to me.
The one over on
Greenfield.
by my store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Me and Lauren just went there for lunch the other day.
$9, 1 quart. More food than what Panda Express will give you.
70 cents for an egg roll.
Yes. Whereas, I think at Panda Express, it's what? $1 an egg roll or something like that? Maybe 2? No. I don't know.
And theirs are better. Not Panda Express. What is
Any single restaurant you go to, you're getting better food.
Oh, God.
If you ever look at a picture of a McDonald's Big Mac, like from photo and the reality photo is nothing like what they have on the menu.
Yes.
But if you go to a restaurant, you will get almost nearly exactly what they pictured. In fact, just as good. And it's a better burger than what you'd get at McDonald's. Okay, you know what?
Asian chef.
Asian chef.
Yep.
And you know what? Here's another stick up my ass that I got on the fast food industry. Mm-hmm. You know what? Artisan menu photos of absolutely perfect pictures of their food.
Oh, yeah.
And when you really get it, oh.
Denny's is a great one for that.
I don't know. I think
You think
Denny's
their pictures are pretty spot on?
I think their pictures are somewhat spot on. It's just fast food. I'm talking about fast food. Denny's, you still sit down.
Yeah.
Well,
at least you did.
I think it's sit down. I think it's fast sit down food, if anything. But McDonald's is pure fast food.
Yeah.
And nothing from their menu looks exactly what they have on their menu.
I miss going to Denny's after meets.
I do too. I miss those days. I miss my Denny meats from back in the day.
Oh, God, we had so much fun.
Oh, yeah, the good old days.
Remember me getting lost and you showing me how to use the navigator on my phone to find our way back somewhere? We literally drove into like a dead-end residential area.
I don't know.
Together.
I don't remember that.
I do. We did find a nice Mexican restaurant that one time.
Oh, that was after Downers Grove.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one Denny's that is in the not in the middle of nowhere, but in the most weird location that
And
every
we went to
local knows.
We went to the McDonald's where they were fighting in the restaurant.
Yep.
That was crazy. But then we found the Mexican restaurant, and I introduced you to horchata, which you love.
Yes. Ever since then, my life has never been the same since horchata.
I raved about it to my supervisor. She went and got it. She just bought it. She's like, "Hey, wasn't that good?" I'm like,
Are you soulless?
"Are you soulless?" And then I reiterated to her, generally it's used to cure cottonmouth when you are high, which she smokes all the time. I'm like, I didn't just tell her to randomly go get it. I'm like, the next time you have cottonmouth. She's like, well, I only get cotton. I don't get...
You know
I don't
what you
have
should tell her?
cottonmouth. I'm like...
You know what you should tell her? Get better drugs.
She said, I don't get cottonmouth unless I'm high. And I'm like, which is all the time, bitch. This is my quote-unquote pseudo-supervisor.
This horchata doesn't work. Well, you need better...
You need better
weed.
drugs. Her drug dealer dropped off her drugs, her pot, at work the other day. Sabine. At fucking work. He met her at the entrance to our back room.
Wow.
And then she's like, don't tell anybody this. I shouldn't even be telling you. I'm like, what? What? Just tell me. You can't tell anyone. I'm like, what, Sabine? I just had a drive-up drug deal. I'm like, you stupid bitch.
Wow.
At fucking Walmart. I mean, it's Walmart, for God's sakes, but...
Come on. Shit, my boss does drugs on a daily basis, which explains a lot.
I mean, she wasn't doing them there, but...
No, but...
The fact that her drug dealer dropped them off like a fucking... what's the drive?
Dime bag?
What's the drive-up food delivery service? Kelly does.
Uber?
Like an Uber, like a drug.
Uber drugs.
Uber drugs. Or what's the other one? Uber drugs or...
You know what I would love to have?
DoorDash drugs.
Oh my god.
DoorDash pot.
DoorDash pot. And then in the back seat is a cop saying, hey, if I catch you doing this outside your house, I'm coming after you.
Oh my god.
In the back seat, he just pops up and says, oh, drug bust. You know what? In this day and age, weed should just be legal.
Yeah.
They say it's a gateway drug, but what about alcohol?
Yeah.
Where so many families get smashed up by a bottle.
Yep.
Yet, a plant is legalized because it's dangerous. Yet, alcohol kills more people than weed.
Yeah.
In fact, you need to smoke a lot of weed.
I'm sure I've
get
said
anywhere
this.
near hurting yourself.
I'm sure I've said this many times, but I'm not really. I don't consider myself an advocate for it, but I will say that I can definitely operate a vehicle better when I'm high than I can if I'm drunk. And I've driven drunk.
I think a lot of people
I'm not proud
have.
to admit it.
No.
But I did on my 21st birthday. Wait. When can you buy alcohol? 21?
21.
Yeah, on my 21st birthday, I went to my favorite dance club in downtown Chicago, which happened to be the same place where Dennis Rodman had his birthday parties from the Chicago Bulls, Dennis Rodman, Mr. Rebound himself. But I remember I went there by myself. I couldn't get anybody to go with me because everybody else I knew on my birthday was fucking working because I'm friends at the time with everybody I worked with, which is Blockbuster, and we were open till midnight. So I couldn't hang out with anybody that I knew.
Aww.
So I like, fuck it. This is my birthday. I'm going out. I went to my favorite club. I got plastered. My favorite bartender drugged my drinks for me because he knew it was my birthday. I drove home, and I shit you not, Paul.
What? What?
Pobs. Pob marks. You may want to just fix that. I do not remember the drive home. I just remember waking up in my driveway.
Oh no.
I was that drunk.
Yeah.
It was bad. And, cut to maybe 5-6 years later, I'm getting high with people I work with at Blockbuster. They're all younger than me. Like, we're talking 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And I was like 27, 28, 29.
Bad poos.
I was bad. I hung out with this kid that it was my customer.
Mm-hmm.
He kept talking about how he wanted to smoke up with me. So we went to his dad's apartment and hung out in his dad's garage. Because one of those apartments where they have nice garages.
Mm-hmm.
We smoked up in the garage. But, one time we went to Denny's and we smoked up. And I drove home, and I think I drove 15, 20 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
Bad poos.
Because I was so paranoid, I was going to speed. I didn't have the experience of... I had no experience in driving high. So I just drove paranoid. I did. That's the same night that I ordered like 3 things off the Denny's menu and did not eat any of it.
And then you just walked out.
Oh God, everything looks so good.
Your eyes ate all the food, but
I got sick.
From not eating anything, but with
no,
shoving it
just
through your
like
eye.
being paranoid got me sick. It's so hard to describe. Like I remember sitting there, and I can vocalize this, but it's better to see it. Imagine like. In my mind, I like peek up once in a while and see somebody looking in my direction and then look back down.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 4 or 5 minutes later, look over somewhere else, and someone's looking at me, and look back down real quick. Okay?
Poos.
That's what I saw going on in my mind. What was actually going on was I was just staring at people for like minutes on end, like this. Or I'd just be like...
And then as soon as they look at you...
As soon as my mind realized that they were looking back at me, I would look away.
You are a weird one.
Well, I was high. I was high.
Oh.
I was so high, and they fucking knew it, too. They knew it. And I just remember, I'm going to get a moons over my hammy.
They had those back then?
Yep. And I'm going to get a chicken tender dinner, and what's another good one? Bless. Moons over my hammy.
I do like their nachos.
Probably the nachos then, too. I went all over different directions.
They do have a good breakfast steak.
I ordered all of those things. Oh, the chicken fried steak is good, too.
Yes, yep.
The chicken fried steak. Moons over my hammy.
Although it is actually sad that Perkins is not around anymore.
Perkins? There is Perkins still.
Really?
Yeah.
There's still an operating
There
Perkins.
is Perkins. Let's find the closest one, and we'll go there now. But yeah, I remember I ordered all 3 things, and then paid for it, didn't eat any of it, left it there even.
Wow.
Because I was like, I'm going to be sick. I can't eat this. We got to go.
Normally for like...
Where's the nearest Perkins?
Normally the hangover...
The nearest Perkins around Elm Grove. Here you go.
Elm Grove. That's not far.
Elm Grove. Where the fuck is Elm Grove?
It's just, that's not far. Why can't I place that? Blue Mound Road. That's north. It's only 8 minutes away.
Wow. I'm surprised because a lot of them have closed down by now. Holy moly, it's a right and a left turn.
Yeah.
That is pretty close. Holy cow.
9 minutes away.
I'm actually quite surprised there's still one around because...
Oh, no, that's Baker Square.
Oh, it's Baker Square? Well, even Baker Square's not here anymore.
Well, that is Baker Square, though.
Oh, it's Baker Square.
Yeah, that is Baker,
Baker Square was good for breakfast.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Perkins... Nope. Perkins Bakery... Perkins Restaurant and Bakery. Madison, Wisconsin.
And even... Oh, in Madison?
Yep.
Yeah, me and Ricky tried to go to that one, and...
Was it closed?
I think they were being stupid. I think their drive-thru was open or something like that, and we went to...
Wisconsin Dells, too. There's definitely a Perkins in Wisconsin Dells.
I am not driving to Wisconsin Dells for Perkins.
No, definitely not.
I know Shadowcat loved his Perkins.
It's like almost a 6 hour drive there.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Not 6, maybe 4.5, 5 hours.
I mean, it is 2.5 hours that way from here.
What, Dells?
The Dells from
Oh, I thought it was further.
No, it's within the 3-hour drive, but it's not 3 hours.
Is it?
I would say it's about 2 hour 15, 2 hour 20 minute drive. I don't know. Because they go to Automotion every year except this past year.
Oh, wow, it's only 1 hour and 45. That's not bad.
Oh, wait, the Dells?
Yeah.
Shit, it's actually closer than I thought it was. Oh, cool.
We need to go to the Dells. No, we can't. COVID.
I want to... Oh, my God. What I would love to do is just water park. Just a water park.
Yep.
Go there for a weekend. Act like as if it's a con. Just water park it out.
Yep. In suit.
In suit.
You know what I used to do when we go to the Dells as a kid? Because the Dells has been around that long, okay?
Oh, it's been...
We're talking me as like a 7, 8, 9-year-old Puss.
Puss.
I used to I would bring my little Smurf figurines with me,
Yeah.
and I would hang them out the window so they could get air as we drove to the Dells. And my mom would be like, "Careful, Joe, we're going to drop it out the window."
Aww.
I loved my Smurfs. They went everywhere with me. We used to build a Roaring Rapids, basically our own little pseudo water park, miniature water park for our Smurfs. Underneath the back porch, I would make it out of the mud. I mean, it was, you would start up here, and I had it all planned out where it would just go all the way down. And I would put the hose at the top, and the water would run down.
Back in the days of growing up when your folks allowed you to waste water.
And it didn't cost as much money because I wasn't on the internet.
What's that?
Exactly. What's the internet?
Well, before
the internet didn't even exist back then. I had to play outside in the mud.
I mean, I did too.
We tried to catch rabbits with a wood box that we built and a carrot.
You were trying to be Elmer Fudd.
We were trying to catch rabbits. I sat there and held the rope and.
Oh, you totally tried to do an Elmer Fudd.
I did. I had the stick. I had the stick wedged in there to pop it out. My dad helped me set it up.
That's funny.
Yep. Next door neighbors had a tire swing that hung from the giant ass walnut tree.
That tree had a giant ass?
It was giant. It did have a giant ass. It was huge.
I see why you like ass.
Not to mention the neighbors.
And the neighbors.
I had a crush on every one of them. I did. I was gay at a very.
You were
very,
gay and vibrating.
I was gay and vibrating at a very young age. I knew what I wanted. I didn't have any qualms about it.
I had so many signs, and it was so funny that I realized, oh, I guess this all makes sense now.
Yeah.
I had all the signs, and I ignored every single one of them until I met you. And it's like, this feels normal. But there was all these signs, and I totally ignored them.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, one of the guys, they all worked out. They all had decent bodies. But Kevin would always lay out on the back porch and tan. And I would just stare out the window.
So before you got high and started staring at people, you were staring at naked bodies.
Well, we're talking, a 10, 11-year-old kid lusting after his next door neighbor.
You were a peeping Tom.
I was, but then
you were a peeping Tom.
But then I'd go over and hang out with him and play basketball and get my ass beat.
Because you wanted it.
Because I didn't play basketball. I was terrible at it.
You just wanted to get close to that.
I would just chase after a ball. A very cat thing to do.
A very cat thing to do.
But it was. And they'd be like impressed, be like, "Wow, you're all over the place." I'm like, "Yeah."
Like.
Could not make a shot for the life of me. But I was all over the place, zooming all over.
It's like that one cat that tries to pounce on something, but it jumps everywhere. Yeah.
Yep. I reconnected with him on Facebook too. He's married now. Everybody I had a crush on is married. How depressing.
Yeah. I know a lot of people from my graduating class that are now married and have kids.
Already? What the hell?
I mean, although my folks had me at 27, so...
That's about the age, I guess.
So I kind of expected, but still, it's like, everyone's getting settled and whatnot, and here I am, I'm partying with a bunch of furry animals, which means I was never the cool kid in high school. Now,
You get to live it up a little bit. Why not?
So, I have actually become the exact opposite of what other people were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the fast cars, the pickup trucks, and now they're all settled with wives and kids and minivans
and beer guts.
and beer guts. Now here I am, driving a really, really boring Cavalier and whatnot. Now I have not regressed. I have actually progressed into the deadbeat furry hoosk uncle dad thing, whatever, in this community. Because for some reason, there are a few people that think of me as a dad, and it's kind of odd.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, apparently one furry looked at one of my art and says, "Oh my god, he's my dad. I want him to fuck me hard."
Welcome to my world.
So then here I am with a Skylark, partying. So I've literally become the cool hoosk after high school, after it barely mattered. I don't know. I find it funny that everyone's all settled and getting on with their lives and whatnot, which I don't care that I'm not. Frankly, I enjoy it.
Yep.
Because, frankly, I'm going to be very honest. Even if I wanted kids, I don't think I'll ever be able to afford them. I barely get by as it is on my own. I don't understand why I would want kids just because I just can't afford them. Anyway.
Yeah.
You think we did pretty good on this podcast?
I think we did excellent.
And you have plenty of time to relax, vibrate loaf before doing the actual loafing.
Indeed.
And actually, yeah, we've discussed quite a lot, actually. So I guess we may as well sign off. So this is another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast. And once again, I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And remember, kids, Uber drugs coming to a country near you.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Have a good evening.